So the president, they're talking about the potential threat from sleeper cells from Iranians who've entered this country illegally. Pam Bondi, the attorney general, estimates that well over 1,000 Iranians entered this country illegally in the past 4 years. How do you assess the level of threat?
Well, we are at a current heightened threat level, and what we're assessing right now is exactly what the president talked about, and what you heard Secretary Noem talk about to the governors this weekend, is we are at a heightened threat, and we need to focus on all these high-risk countries that we did have so many individuals come from. These places that have turmoil, that didn't come here for a better life in the United States, that did come to potentially have harm. So what ICE is focused on are all those high-risk countries that may house known suspected terrorists that we know are here in the United States, and we're focused on apprehending those and taking those out of our community.
So what I'm trying to get my mind around is whether Homeland Security is focusing in on trying to sort of narrow in on Iranian suspects because the nuclear negotiations have fallen through, or is there a flurry of activity and brand new threats because the negotiations fell through? We've
seen an increase in threats, but we've had that since January 20th as well. We do have a list of several high-profile countries that are considered high risk that we are focused on, that we want to go ahead and make sure we find those individuals that came here in the United States without any type of vetting or without any proper vetting or who snuck in. We want to make sure that we're protecting Americans here on American soil. And that's one of the key things ICE is doing, is preventing these incidents before anything bad does happen.
So the former DHS Secretary under Barack Obama, Jay Johnson, was on Fox and Friends this morning. He was talking about the potential threat from Iranians and others in this country. Listen here.
The presence in this country of undocumented migrants or Iranian nationals who have links to Hezbollah, IRGC, is, in my judgment, a domestic law enforcement concern of the highest magnitude.
That's something you don't hear every day, a Democrat who's saying this really could be a problem. Right. How is the threat being addressed? You alluded to it a little bit just a second ago.
So we're actively working with all of our Department of Justice partners and our intelligence partners to ensure that, ICE is at the forefront of making sure that we're rounding up all these individuals or attempting to locate the ones that did get in. You did see that list of individuals that were arrested. You have one that with admitted ties to Hezbollah. We also arrested a former sniper from a hostile country who snuck into the United States. So those are the type of individuals we want to locate before they can do anything here.
What about the gotaways, though? We don't even know where they may be.
And that's one of the things that we get to focus on, and that you do see when you do hear that ICE is rounding up people that may not have a criminal conviction. But we're attempting to locate all of these gotaways, and those are ones who have never been encountered by a DHS entity before, and those are what we're focused on, because we want to find those ones before they do any harm. We don't want to have another 9/11 or another major incident. We want to be on the tip of the spear to make sure we locate all those individuals that may have come into the U.S. illegally.
Tom Homan said on a podcast this week that he has to live separately and apart from his wife and the rest of his family because of threats against him and his life, and he doesn't want them to get potentially wrapped up in that. It's a pretty, I don't know what the right adjective is, like a pretty shocking, sad state of affairs when like a ranking cabinet official can't live safely on U.S. soil.
Well, it is, to your point, it's very sad to the fact that when you look at, cabinet officials like that, you look at Secretary Noem, you look at men and women of ICE who are under constant threat just because they're doing a mission. And when you think about what ICE was formed from the 9/11 Commission, where we were a law enforcement agency to combat situations before they happen, yet they're villainized, demonized for doing their job. It is a sad state of affairs where a law enforcement official can't do their job without some type of demonization or threats to themselves or their family.
Yeah, and sometimes it's elected officials, city officials, who are doing that. There's this woman, Cynthia Gonzalez, in Cudahy, California, in Los Angeles County, who appeared to be encouraging local gangs to look out for their own turf against ICE. Listen to what she said.
You guys tag everything up, claiming hood, and now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you. It's everyone else who's not about the gang life that's out there protesting and speaking up. We're out there like fighting our turf, protecting our people. And like, where you at?
She's now under investigation by the DOJ for those comments. What do you think of the fact that she seems to be encouraging gang members to go after ICE in their neighborhoods?
And you hate to use harsh words, but her comments are absolutely disgusting. To have an elected official like that, to have the vice mayor of a city who has a city that is combating a gang issue, draw attention to the gang to go against law enforcement officers. Who in their right mind would do that? Who's advocating violence of a gang that, ICE is there to take those gang problems out of her city, yet she's advocating for those criminal organizations to have violence and threat against ICE officers and law enforcement? It's truly despicable and disgusting.
Do you think that results of this investigation are, based on the video, a kind of foregone conclusion?
I do, and I'm very happy that the FBI took this case. You can clearly see by that video, she is calling for a known criminal organization to take action against a law enforcement agency. It's not like she's calling on a local civic organization to protest or peaceful protest like you hear coming out of L.A. She's asking for a criminal organization to take action against the men and women of ICE.
Here's what the city said, quote, the city of Cudahy is aware of recent comments made by Vice Mayor Cynthia Gonzalez on social media. The comments made by the Vice Mayor reflect her personal views and do not represent the views or official position of the city of Cudahy. The city will not be providing further comment. Well, if the investigation goes in a direction I'm sure you and your colleagues would like it to go in, she may have plenty of opportunity to voice her
I'm sure she'll have plenty of opportunity to make a comment.
In a different format. Good to see you, Todd. Thanks for dropping by.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Sir.
Appreciate it.
Good
Thank
to see you.
Good seeing you.